Jeopardy! All right, we are going to be reviewing 4 hours history test today. All right, so let's go with Transcontinental Railroad for 200. This railroad brought the East closer to the West. What is the Transcontinental Railroad? All right, let's go for the American Cowboy for 300. A sudden rush or running around by a frightened group of cattle. What is a stampede? All right, let's go for the Homestead Act for 100. The law that said any family that settled in certain areas of the West could receive 160 acres of land. What is the Homestead Act? All right, let's go for rebuilding the South for 400. This person helped poor farmers in the South become prosperous. Who is George Washington Carver? Let's go to Indians of the West for 200. This provided Indians with food, shelter, and clothing. What is the buffalo? All right, how about Homestead Act for 400? When this ended, more people were willing to try settling in the West. What is the Civil War? Let's go with rebuilding the South for 200. He was a famous scientist who found many uses for peanuts. You know this. Who is George Washington Carver? All right, Transcontinental for 300. This was driven into the last rail. What is a gold spike? All right, the American Cowboy for 100. Men hired to take care of cattle. Who are American cowboys? All right, Indians of the West for 400. Pieces of land that the United States set aside for Indians. What are reservations? Right, Transcontinental Railroad for 100. This is the state where the Transcontinental Railroad was finished. Ooh, what is Utah? All right, rebuilding the South for 100. This person founded and built the Tuskegee Institute in Alabama. Who is Booker T. Washington? All right, Transcontinental Railroad for 400. This is the railroad company that began work in Sacramento, California. Ooh. What is the Central Pacific Company? Homestead Act for 200. The year the Homestead Act was passed. Ooh. What is 1862? Let's go with the American Cowboy for 200. The name of the several 100-mile journey to a cow town. What is the long drive? Let's go with Transcontinental Railroad for 500. Ooh, May 10th, 1869. What is when the Transcontinental Railroad was finished? The American Cowboy for 400. This was used by cowboys to soothe tired animals and prevent stampedes. What are songs? Rebuilding the South for 500. This person invited George Washington Carver to teach at Tuskegee Institute. Who is Booker T. Washington? And the American cowboy for 500. Ranchers and cowboys had problems with these people as the West continued to grow. Who are farmers? And last one. The year when it was announced that there was no more frontier land left in the United States. What is 1890? Awesome job! All right, so now let's go over the actual test. And this is the online test that I have pulled up. And then remember, you can always write your answers on a sheet of paper if that would work better for you. So this is the online test though, so this is what it's going to look like. You're going to put your name here. Now, this is an open book test, and you may use pages 163 to 171 to help you. And then what you're going to be doing is choosing if the word in parentheses makes the sentence true or false. So we're looking at the whatever is in parentheses, okay? So, first one, George Washington Carver was a famous scientist who found many uses for peanuts, and then you would just click true or false, whichever one you choose, if George Washington Carver was that famous scientist. 2 would be Kansas is the state where the Transcontinental Railroad was finished, and you would just choose true or false if Kansas was that state. 3, Booker T. Washington founded and built Tuskegee Institute in Alabama. If he did, you would click true. If he did not, you would click false. Buffalo provided Indians with food, shelter, and clothing. If Buffalo did this, you would click true. If they did not, false. A reservation is a piece of land that the U.S. has set aside for Indians. If that is what a reservation is, true. If it's not, false. Most ranchers had to move their herds 1 or 2 miles to the nearest railroad that would handle cows. If they moved the herds 1 or 2 miles, you would click true. If they did not do that, you would click false, or if it was something different than 1 or 2 miles. A sudden rush or running around by a frightened group of cattle is called the long drive. Is it called the long drive? True. Is it not? False. Union Pacific Company was one of the companies that built the Transcontinental Railroad. If that is one of the companies, you would click true. If it is not, you would click false. The Transcontinental Railroad brought the East closer to the West. Is that true or false? Cowboys were men hired to take care of horses. Were they hired to take care of horses? True or false? The Homestead Act said that any family that settled in certain areas of the East could receive 160 acres of land. Is that true or false? False for the East. And then finally, in 1890, it was announced that there was no more frontier land left in the United States. True or false? And then you would just click submit. All right, we'll do the very best you can. Take your time and please use your book.